a brief synopsis of why you're here and what happened today.
Okay, well, I have been with these folks that are here today, many of you who are gathered today. I have been standing for Kanawai Mamalahoe, the law of the splintered paddle, which is supposed to protect the people of Hawaii from abuse, specifically by the government. It is the first law of this land. It was decreed by Kamehameha I, and it is in the Hawaii State Constitution. It's a very serious law. It says that anyone who does not uphold Kanawai Mamalahoe shall die. Now, we don't want that to happen to any individuals. However, the way that we are redirecting the energy of that law is that any government which does not uphold Kanawai Mamalahoe shall fall. And that is a very sacred law of this land. It's a prayer. It's also a human rights, a universal human rights law that was articulated in Hawaiian culture, but it is universal. And so what happened was that in the process of standing for Kanawai Mamalahoe, which we have been doing, and saw many, many horrendous breaches of that law, of that very sacred law, and abuse of the people. In the process of doing that, an indigenous artist named Raul Gonzalez, an internationally acclaimed, beautiful, beautiful artist. Look him up, Raul Gonzalez. He's just absolutely amazing. And he was here briefly in Hawaii and wanted to do something for the Kanaka Maoli people to help our struggle. And so he painted out of his own time and with materials that we provided as a group, and that many of which he brought himself. He painted a beautiful, beautiful banner of Kanawai Mamalahoe, of the law of the splintered paddle. The paint was not even dry on that banner before it was stolen by the City and County of Honolulu Department of Facilities and Maintenance. The law that they used to steal that banner requires that an item, anything they take, is supposed to have been there for 24 hours. The paint wasn't even dry. The banner wasn't even 24 hours old, and it was stored in a tent that had just been put up, that had just been brought into the area, and that tent had not been there for 24 hours. Anyway, so it was in a tent, and it was being stored with another banner painted by artist Michael Daly, which read "Uamau Ke'ea o Ka'aina i Kapono" and contained the symbols of the Hawaiian government. And it should be noted that this all happened at Thomas Square. Thomas Square is the place in Honolulu where the phrase "Uamau Ke'ea o Ka'aina i Kapono" was uttered in 1843. And that phrase, for any of you out there who don't know it, that phrase means "Uamau," to continue. Ke'ea, ea is the sovereign life breath that is in all of us. Ke'ea o Ka'aina, of the land, i Kapono, of righteousness. So, in other words, the sovereign life breath of the land will continue forever through pono, through righteousness, through things being right, people doing right, not abusing one another, and particularly not abusing those with less power. And that was uttered by Kauikeo'uli, King Kamehameha III, in 1843, when sovereignty was proclaimed for Hawaii at that very place, at Thomas Square. So to understand how serious this is on a cultural level, on a spiritual level, on a legal level, on an international level. Those things, Kanawai Mamalahoe, the law of the splintered paddle, and Uamau Ke'ea o Ka'aina I Kapono itself were stolen by the illegal city and county of Honolulu, which is, of course, part of the illegal occupation of Hawaii by the United States of America. And so those items were taken. In the interest of peace, I went a very peaceful manner in trying to reclaim them. I called Wesley Chun, who is the thief who took them.
Common criminal.
And quite honestly, while I have great aloha for Dr. Chun, he needs some help. He has a problem and he needs some help.
He needs a job now.
So I did speak with him. I heard a report, which I have no reason not to believe, that the banner was actually, instead of being stored in a bin, was actually sitting in his office as he spoke to me. And I heard an eyewitness report of that. I can't corroborate that it's true, but as I said, I have no reason to believe otherwise. And he told me that he would not return the banner, that it wouldn't be returned for weeks, which it wasn't. He gave me a very lengthy process. I did point out that it was taken illegally, and he knew that very, very well, although he refused to admit it. But he knew it very well that it was taken completely illegally. We had all the evidence of that. Videotape, pictures, receipts, everything. Unfortunately, the very next day, well, it's fortunate that it was the very next day, but it was unfortunate for the timing for me. The very next day was May 1st. May 1st meant two things in this case. One, it was a general strike that was being called by Deoccupy Honolulu. A general strike is basically, could you explain what a general strike is? It's basically when everything's supposed to stop.
Yeah, a general strike is you don't do anything for a day. Don't work, don't spend money, don't go to the gas station, don't go to the grocery store, don't go anywhere. And it's a way to show the 1% who holds the true power in the land. It's the only reason they have power is off the backs of the working class citizens. And so you call a general strike to remind them that they need to get their act together and that our numbers are much stronger and our needs are much greater than theirs. So you call a general strike, don't work, don't do anything, that has to do with capitalism or anything like that. Just go have fun. Go hang out in a public park. Go listen to music.
Yeah, they may be sitting on their butts, but they're saying that they're not going to sit still for what's going on.
So,
yeah, absolutely. So a general strike was being called for Tuesday, May 1st, which is International Workers' Day. And there was an event in the park that had been scheduled for some time, fairly major event, at which I had committed with my word as a Hawaiian, to both Raul Gonzalez, the indigenous artist, and to the folks at Deoccupy, to bring that banner to that event as a blessing, to remind people that as part of this general strike, Kanawai Mamalahoe is a very important foundation of law that needs to be protected, and to honor their efforts to protect it. And so, therefore, I called. I needed to get the banner in order to do that, which I had given my word to do. Made my very best effort. called Mayor Carlisle's office many times the day before on April 30th. Called, as I said, I spoke with Wesley Chun, I called the police, I called just about everyone, and was unable, unfortunately, to keep my word in returning that banner. Now, I have to say that while I was planning to bring that, one of the reasons it was so important for me to do that was because I was actually unable to participate in a general strike myself because May 1st also happens to be Lay Day in Hawaii. And my mother is a long time lay maker who for many years, I think at least 9 years, probably more, has been every single year making and sharing the culture of lei making at the city and county of Honolulu's Lei Day event at Laulani Park every year. And basically all of her family are required to attend and participate and help, right? We go to the mountains and gather all of the native flowers and the other flowers. My mom climbs the Puakeni tree. My mom's in her mid-70s, but she climbs up the trees and climbs up the mountains, and we help her as best we can, although she still kicks our butt. But anyway, after all of that effort, it's not really a choice to say, oh no, we're not gonna participate. So I was obligated to go down and participate in this event. Now, as a Hawaiian, I hope that people can see the position that this puts me in. On one hand, I've given my word to bring Kanawai Mamalahoi to the May 1st event there, and on the other hand, I have to be at the city and county's lei making event down at Kapi'olani Park. So I am left with a dilemma. Am I really going to make leis and share my culture and show how beautiful Hawaiian culture is, which I absolutely don't mind doing, but to allow the city and county of Honolulu to take credit for perpetuating that culture, knowing and hearing that Mayor Carlisle was going to introduce the event personally and was going to speak at that event and was basically going to take credit for that event and use it to promote his agenda of oppression, I could not see any way that that could be in any possible way pono. Therefore, what I did in order to find a peaceful resolution to this was to call at the very last minute for anyone who could come down and show that although we respected Hawaiian culture and although, I was participating in perpetuating Hawaiian culture, certainly, and have no problem sharing it with people, that we were not okay with showing just one side of Hawaiian culture while this abuse was ongoing, this very, very serious abuse by the city and county of Honolulu, and that they needed to return Kanawai Mamalahoi and Ua Mau Ke'ea o Ka'aina I Kapono to their rightful place, which were at Thomas Square.